Right, just as a word of advice before this video carries on, yes, there's going to be an inappropriate Vote Dave t-shirt. Yes, there's going to be spoilers. Right, hello there, my name is Paul, I'm also called Knick-Knack, I'm also called Mr. Cuddy. I also say, vote Dave. You know, it makes sense, he's a banana Republican. And there's possibly a hell of a lot of other things I could say as well. One is that I run the blog, Knick-Knack's Old Peculiar. Another is that I run this YouTube channel, Mr. Cuddy 2977. A third is that, yes, I'd appreciate your subscription. Yes, I'd appreciate you liking this video. And yes, if you want to put your money in the tip jar is in the corner there. That's possibly sideways. As well as doing blogging and quizzes, I also do TV reviews of things I think you'd be interested in hearing my opinion of, and tonight is one of those nights. It's Saturday the 26th, and I'm going to tell you what I thought of The Well, the third episode of Season 2 of New Doctor Who. Here's what I thought. Episode 3, The Well, opens in the TARDIS, showing us the Doctor and Belinda, Shitigatwa and Veroda Sethu, in the console room, desperately trying to get through to Earth on the 24th of May, only to be blocked by something. When the TARDIS lands for the pair to take bearings is when the pair find themselves in trouble, as they're 500,000 years into Belinda's future. They're jumping out of a military dropship and onto the surface of a planet that's supposed to be being strip-mined of carbon-46, and that the expedition's leader, Shea Castellian, Gwilyn Dunn, is not pleased to see them, no matter how good their credentials are. Things only get worse when the group finds Alice, Rose Ayling-Ellis, because it looks like Alice, dear sweet little innocent blonde cute Alice, has killed everybody else on the base. Now, what did I think of The Well, of what co-writer Sharma Angel Welfall called very scary? I don't know if I'd have said very scary. Not really, really, really scary. Possibly not. Possibly I would. Some of Doctor Who's best stories over the years are what's called base under siege stories. The classic examples are the Second Doctor stories, The Moon Base, or The Tomb of the Cybermen. Or more recently, to my mind, comes The Impossible Planet Satan Pit, 2 parts, of which I think The Well had a similar feel to. There's also Midnight, the David Tennant episode. They're all set in enclosed environments with no escape, and it's an enclosed environment with no escape that soon faces a terrifying invasion from something. Midnight is possibly more relevant than you think, as The Well is set some 400,000 years after the events of that particular episode, after Midnight the planet has been strip-mined of diamonds and is now being strip-mined for a fictional form of carbon called carbon-46. The place also has what platoon leader Shea calls mercury drop lines that come in handy at a later point. In other words, The Well, like any good base under siege story, sees a small group of people in a base, trapped in a base whose former occupants have all been killed, potentially by the last survivor, and potentially by a last survivor who's possessed. Very scary? No. Bloody scary? Yes. The Well truly is edge of the seat stuff with a revamped creature that isn't possessing an innocent tourist, but instead sitting behind someone's shoulder, only visible out of the corner of our eyes. There are very few things scarier than the things that we can just see in the corner of our eyes. Before I move on, there are probably other things we can talk about. Subtitles are one thing. In the real world, I have no smart TV. I'm watching the iPlayer version of this series on an Apple TV 4K streaming box plugged into a dumb TV. It's a great little system. I generally find it useful. But my only complaint is the same one that I've had for many years now. Quite simply that for whatever reason, the iPlayer's subtitles don't work on the Apple TV version of the app. They'll work, as far as I know, on iOS, on iPhone OS, on Mac OS in Safari's. When you visit the iPlayer on Safari, the web browser, they work fine. Why that is, whose fault that is, I do not know. I suspect the BBC's traditional subtitles, the ones that assign one of four different colours of lettering to each character, versus Apple's preferred all-white text, may have something to do with it. Whatever. It is annoying not to be able to use a useful feature without having to jump through a lot of hoops. Especially as this particular episode hinges around a deaf character, Alice, played by deaf actress Rose Ayling-Ellis, one who communicates through the episode in a mixture of British Sign Language, lip reading, speech, and sci-fi subtitles. Now, given that, there is an irony that Apple TV 4K users can't use iPlayer subtitles for this episode. The fact that the characters in this episode has a gimmick doesn't necessarily help. Right, it's official. The characters in this episode have a gimmick. Yes, they have a gimmick, and it's a helpful gimmick, I should add. The troopers all have a little gadget, a little projector that hears their speech and then projects it onto a screen, a virtual in-the-air screen, in a way that lets Alice read their words and understand what they're saying as they're saying them, as the saying has it, in real time. It's a bloody clever little idea, and it's one that got me wondering something. The hypospray on Star Trek, the compressed air syringe you see used in some series of Star Trek. Somebody's actually made a real world one because they've seen it on Star Trek. So that and this little gimmick saw me wondering one very little thing. Is there a clever dick out there that's watched this episode, seen this episode, and seen that little virtual projector and sat there and watched the episode and thought to himself, I can build one of them? I have no idea, but hopefully somebody will see this little widget and think to themselves, I can do that, and make themselves a fortune selling it on to people who've seen it on Doctor Who. It's a fantastic little advert for a thing that hasn't been invented yet. There are other things we could possibly look at here, things that probably others will cover a lot better than me. Certainly at 9:45 of an evening. At any rate, a few things did catch my attention. Christopher Chung as Cassio did a competent enough job, I think, although I wasn't totally convinced by his confrontation with the platoon leader. Rose Ayling-Ellis was very, very good indeed. It presented us with a very vulnerable character whose bravery and confidence grew through the episodes. Quite something to see her character arc, and quite simply to see how she's the only one that knows what's going on. The star of the episode was Gwilyn Dunn as the tough but sympathetic platoon leader, Shea. It's a performance that was sympathetic, was watchable, and was heartbreaking by the end, as she makes the decision to kill herself, and it's a decision that kills her down the well in the title and ends the threat. It is even more heartbreaking when we see the proverbial twist at the end. It's one hell of a performance. Part 6, finally. So, what did I make of the episode? What did I make of The Well? Did I enjoy it? Was it scary? What can I tell you? Yes, it's scary. I don't know if I'd be throwing around the word very scary, but yes, it is scary. It's approaching Stephen Moffat's Blink in terms of terror, and it's got the kind of terror held not by a weeping angel that can't move if you're looking at it, but it's got the kind of terror that's held in the shape of a thing you can only see in the corner of your eye or just behind something else. Did I enjoy it? Absolutely, I did. The Well is one hell of a piece of work and something I think will repay quite a few more viewings, I think. It's something I suspect I'll watch before I catch next week's episode. It is worth your time, it is worth my time, and it's a fantastic piece of work. Right, it's getting late, so this is where I'm going to leave things. But before I close off, I would like to say thank you for very much for watching this video and or reading the original blog post it's based on. Please feel free to leave me a comment on the post if you think I'm wrong or I'm right or whatever you think I am. Please let me know what you think of the episode. We can start off a conversation about it. If you're watching the video version, again, please feel free to hit like. Please feel free to hit the share button. And please, if I remember to put the tip jar in the corner, please, if you're feeling generous, put some money in the pot. I will see you next week on Saturday the 3rd of May. Hopefully, once I've finished watching Lucky Day. I will see you next week. Take care, have fun, be good. Be seeing you.